we have here plan. A plan is an organized schedule or sequence by methodical activities intended to attain a goal or objectives for the accomplishments of mission or assignment, and is a method or way of doing something in order to attain objectives and provides answers to the 5 W's and 1H. Ang plano ay kailangan organize siya at mayroong sinusunod na mga hakbang upang sa ganun ay ma-attain ang goal or objectives para ma-accomplish ang isang plano. So next is planning. Planning is the determination in advance of how the objectives of the organization will be attained. Involves the determination of a course of action to take in performing a particular function or activity. And is the process of developing methods or procedures or an arrangement of parts intended to facilitate the accomplishment of a definite objective. And is a management function concerned with visualizing future situation, making estimates concerning them, identifying issues, needs, and potential danger points, analyzing and evaluating the alternative ways and means of reaching desired goals according to a certain schedule, estimating the necessary funds and resources to do the work, and initiating action in time to prepare what may be needed to cope with changing conditions and contingent events. And is the process of deciding in advance what is to be done and how is it to be done. So, in an organization, ang planning ay ginagawa ng organization leader. Sa planning ay dapat na pulido ang pagkakagawa nito upang aayon ang lahat ng nasa plano. Pinaplano nilang mabuti or maigi kung ano ang maaring kalalabasan, ang mga problema, kanilang kailangan at kung saan pinakadelikado sa isang plano. At para mapaghandaan nila kung sakali man na mag-iba ang daloy ng pangyayari, kung dapat na magkaroon ng backup plans. Halimbawa, kung hindi gagana ang plan A, you must proceed to plan B. We have here an elements of planning. Hindi natin maisasagawa ang isang plano kung wala ang mga elemento nito. So, dito natin may a-apply ang sinasabi nilang 5 W's and 1H. So, una, kailangan malaman kung ano ang dapat na ma-attain sa isang plano. And that is to accomplish a goal. Next is, paano makukuha ang goal na ito? By course of action. Sino ang gagawa ng action? It is the implementing group. Ano ang kailangan para maisakatuparan ang isang aktibidad? It is the resources needed. Kailan ito dapat gawin? So, kailangan ng time and duration ng isang plano. Para malaman kung gaano katagal o kaikli ang panahon para maisagawa ang plano. So, last is, kailangan na malaman ang lugar at anong environment meron dito. Para sa ganon ay mapaghandaan kung sakali man na magkaroon ng aberya. So, next is the police planning. Police planning is an attempt by police administrators trying to allocate anticipated service demands, and is the systematic and orderly determination of facts and events as basis for policy formulation and decision-making affecting law enforcement management. The police planning is a process of contributing all aspects of the public safety and the realistic anticipation of future problems, and also the act of determining policies and guidelines for police activities and operations, and also providing controls and safeguards for such activities and operation in the police service. Operational planning. So, operational planning is the use of a rational design or pattern for all department undertakings rather than relying on chance in an operational environment, and is the preparation, development of procedures and techniques in accomplishing each of the primary tasks and functions of an organization. In field of operations, shall be directed by the police commander and the subordinate commanders. And the same shall be aimed at the accomplishment of following primary tasks more effectively and economically. Like for example, in conducting patrol, kailangan din ng masusing pagpaplano para ang patrol force shall accomplish the primary responsibility of safeguarding the community through the protection of persons and property, the preservation of the peace, the prevention of crime, suppression of criminal activities, the apprehension of criminals, the enforcement of law, and performing necessary service and inspections.
Police operational planning. Police operational planning is the act of determining policies and guidelines for police activities and operations and providing controls and safeguards for such activities and operations in the department. Objectives are a specific commitment to achieve a measurable result within a specific period of time. Goals are general statement of intention and typically with time horizon or it achievable and state that can be measured and observed. Making choices about goals is one of the most important aspects of planning. These are the process of police operational planning. We have strategy, tactics, policy, and procedure. Number 1 is strategy. This is a broad design or method or a plan to attain a stated goal or objectives. As a police officer, a strategy is a very important phase in doing an operation. A strategy should design and plan well to come up with a positive result. Number 2, tactics. These are a specific design, method, or course of action to attain a particular objective in consonance with a strategy. In every operation, it requires a unique and specific tactics to perform well the operation. Because if the tactics is not specific or suit with the current operation, even how good the tactic is, it will fail. Number 3, procedure. Procedure are sequences of activities to reach a point or attain what is desired. In police operation, it is 100% important to follow the design procedure in proper order to avoid or to make sure a successful operation. Just like in science, while performing an experiment, we are following a procedure in proper order. Just like in solving case or doing an operation, we should start at the first step and ends at the last one. Number 4, policy. Policy, a course of action which could be a program of action adopted by an individual, group, organization, or government, or the set of principles on which they are based. Of course, in doing an operation, it is very important to follow the policy to avoid abuse of authority and to make sure that the plan is executed well without harming or abusing others' rights.
Guidelines in planning, the 5 W's and 1 H. So, first is what to do, mission or objective. So, dito is kung ano yung krimen or insidente na naganap sa isang lugar. Dito is aalamin mo kung ano yung nangyari. Why? Reason or philosophy. So, kung ano yung rason kung bakit nangyari ang isang insidente. When, date and time. Kung kailan or anong oras naganap yung isang insidente. Where or place. Dito is kung saan nangyari yung insidente. 5. People involved. So, sino-sino yung mga tao na involved sa krimen. Next is how. Strategy or methods. So, kung ano yung method or strategy na gagamitin para maresolba yung isang krimen. Next is characteristics of a good plan. First is with clearly defined goals or objectives. So, dapat yung objectives nyo and goal is clear and naiintindihan ng iba at dapat ay related din ito sa inyong pinag-uusapan. Next is simplicity, directness, and clarity. So, dapat yung plano is kahit simple yung plano, pero direct to the point. At dapat ito ay klaro para mas maintindihan ng mga iba. Next is flexibility. Means that everybody must know exactly what is your goal that you are trying to achieve. Possibility of attainment. Means that para maging maganda ang isang plano, dapat is merong possibility na ma-attain or magagawa yung plano. 5. Must provide standards of operation. Dapat yung mga members ay tulong-tulong upang maging maganda ang kalalabasan ng plano. So, economy in terms of resources needed for implementation. So, dapat is mai-provide yung mga needs na kailangan.
Hello everyone, I'm Dana Tejada, and for today's topic, I will discuss to you the classification of police plans. There are two classifications of police plans, according to coverage and according to time. According to coverage, under these are local plans, regional plans, and national plans. Local plans within police precincts, substation, and train stations. Ang ibig sabihin nito is, kapag ang Bana Police Station may plano, yung plano na yon ang sakop lang niya is, or ang coverage na lang is within the area of Bana. Hindi pwedeng madamay ang other town or karatig bayan. Next is regional plans. Regional plans is mas malawak ang coverage na compared to the local plans. Regional plans is kapag ang Police Regional Office 1 may plano, yung plano na yon is ang coverage lang niya is the area of the Region 1. Region 1 lang ang makikinabang sa planong yon. Hindi pwedeng madamay ang Police Regional Office 2 or the area of Region 2. Next is national plans. Sa kanilang tatlo, ito yung pinakamalawak ang sakop. For example, ang PNP chief is may plano. Head siya ng kapulisan ng Pilipinas. Kapag nagkaroon ng planong ganon, yung plano na yon is, ang cover niya lang is the Philippines. Hindi pwedeng madamay ang other country. Yun yung tinatawag na national plans. Within the area of one country lang ang coverage na kung sino yung nagplanong yun. Next, according to time. First, strategic or long-range plan relates to plans which are strategic or long-range in application. Ibig sabihin, ito yung pinaka matagal or pamatagalang plano. Long-term planning and with a far-reaching impact and the commonly agreed timeline for this type of police planning is more than 5 years. So, sinabi nga natin kanina na pangmatagalang plano. So, matagal din bago makita or ma-reach yung goals or outcome ng planong iyon. Next is intermediate or medium range plan. Relates to plans which determine quantity and quality efforts and accomplishments. Ang pagkakaintindi ko dito is tumutukoy ito sa dami at kalidad ng kanilang mga nagawa. Kumbaga, ang plano na ito is more on the quantity and quality efforts of their efforts. May take from 2 months to 3 years to achieve goals mission. Unlike the long-range plan na more than 5 years, itong intermediate or medium-range plan is 2 months to 3 years lang bago nila ma-achieve yung goal nila. Last, operational or short-range plan. Ang pinaka-maiksi or konting time lang ang magugugol. Refers to the production of plans which determine the schedule of special activity and are applicable from 1 week or less than a year duration. Dito naman sa operational or short-range plan, nakapokus sila sa paggawa ng kanilang plano. Kung paano nila ito maa-achieve. Kasi nga, nakalagay dito 1 week or less than a year lang yung time na meron sila. Plans that address immediate need which are specific and how it can be accomplished on time with available allocated resources. Ang pagkakaintindi ko naman dito is itong plan na ito is tumutugon sa agarang pangangailangan. Kasi nga, konti lang yung duration nila or yung time nila para magawa yung planong iyon. So, nangangailangan din sila ng agarang resources. Kung ano yung mga kakailanganin nila or, yes, yung kakailanganin nila in that plan. In order to reach their goals and missions. So, this is the end of my discussion. Sana po ay may natutunan kayo. Thank you.
Hello guys, I am Arturo Tolentino Jr. and I will discuss to you about the procedural plans or policy plans. It is the guidelines or set of principles which guides the concerned authority in its course of action to achieve their goals. We have examples of policy plans. A. Field procedures. These are used for its sequence and easy to do tasks as a guide regarding to reporting to raids, arrests, stopping suspicious, receiving complaints, and investigation. B. Headquarters procedure. These are procedures to be followed in the headquarters. It is like a duty manual or list of duties or tasks. C. Standard operating procedures or SOP. It is a set of step-by-step instructions compiled by an organization to help workers carry out routine operations. It aims to achieve efficiency, quality output, and uniformity of performance, while reducing miscommunication and failure to comply with industry regulations. Number 2, operational plans. Plans of strategic goals and objectives to technical goals and objectives. Tactical plans. It outlines actions to achieve short-term goals. Outlines what each department needs to achieve, how it must to do so, and who has the responsibility for implementation.
Number 4 is the administrative or management plans. Those plans that relate to staffing, equipping, supplying, and organizing include the structuring of functions, authorities, and responsibilities, the allocation of resources, personnel management, budgeting, and other concerns administrative in nature. Ito ay ang mga plano na nag-uugnay sa staffing, equipping, at pagbibigay at pag-aayos at pagbubuo ng mga tungkulin, otoridad at responsibilidad, ang paglalaan ng mga pagkukunan ng mga tauhan, pamamahala, pagbabudget at iba pang mga alalahanin na likas na pang-administrador. Halimbawa na dito ang mga assignment and training of personnel, recruitment, equipment, and supply procedures. Number 5 is the extra-department plans, those which require actions or assistance from persons or agencies outside of the department, involve coordination with other agencies. Ito naman ay ang mga nangangailangan ng mga aksyon o tulong mula sa mga tao o ahensya sa labas ng kagawaran, kasangkot ang koordinasyon sa iba pang ahensya. Halimbawa na dito ang mga exchange of information on wanted persons, known drug syndicates, or known organized crime groups at stolen vehicles. Hypnotic planning, also called rational comprehensive approach, the dominant tradition in planning, especially appropriate for police agencies, as it is based on the problem-oriented approach planning. It is also relies heavily on the problem identification and analysis phase of the planning process and can assist police administrators in formulating goals and priorities in terms that are focused on specific problems and solutions that often confront law enforcers. Naaangkop ito para sa mga ahensya ng pulisya sapagkat ito ay batay sa diskarte na nakatuon sa problem-oriented approach planning. Nakasalalay din ito ng mabigat o malaki sa pagkakailanlan ng problema at yugto ng pagsusuri ng proseso at pagplaplano at maaaring makatulong sa mga tagapangasiwa ng pulisya sa pagbubuo ng mga layunin at prioridad sa mga tem na nakatuon sa mga sinasabing problema at mga solusyon na madalas harapin ng mga nagpapatupad ng batas. The hypnotic planning is consist of 11 progressive steps, and each step is designed to provide the police manager with a logical course of action. And these are the prepare for planning, describe the present situation, develop projections, consider alternative future state, identify and analyze problems, set goals, identify alternative course of actions, select preferred alternatives, plans for implementation, implement plans, and monitor and evaluate progress. Prepare for planning is the process begins with reviewing the current operations of the organization and identifying what needs to be improved operationally. It is also involves envisioning the results the organization wants to achieve and determining the steps necessary to arrive at the intended destination.
Hi guys, it's me, Mylene J.V. Valdez. I will discuss some progressive steps in this hypnotic planning. So the first one that I will discuss is describe the present situation. So before coming up a solution or alternative that may use for the situation, the organization should describe the present situation through evaluation and comparison. So the first one is evaluating the present situation. So when we say evaluation or evaluating, it is the process that critically examines the problem, its characteristics, examine the situation they're in, or analyze the outcomes that may result, cause, or bring result or outcomes to the organization. And next one is comparing the present situation to ideal situation. So what is ideal situation? It is the best thing that could happen to the organization. So when you compare the present situation to ideal situation, it gives you a hint to achieve the goal you set or admire or desired. Identify their difference that leads you to come up a solution to specific problem or situation within the organization. Next one is the develop projection. So when we say develop projection, the organization should prepare or develop an action for the desired and expected outcome or result of the planning for at least to get or achieve the ideal situation. Kasi pag sinabi nating develop projection, you project the desired outcomes or result of the planning you plan. Next one is consider alternative future state. Considering alternative future can help you to identify possible results or changes that may happen in the future. Next one, identify and analyze problem. What is the problem? The organization should identify what type of problem they are facing. Kung ito ba ay madali or kailangan ng pagtutuunan ng pansin or matinding pagpaplano. What are the areas that need attention? Every areas in the problem should need or require full attention and analyzation para sa organization for the organization to easily and timely solve the problem. How serious is the problem? Know and be aware on how serious the problem para mas madali at makapag-focus na maayos sa pagsulban ng mga problema. What are the causes? Identify the factors. So the organization should identify the factors that creates problem in the organization for the future. Ma-prevent nila to recurring this such problem or type of problem.
Good day everyone, I'm Jimpol Bermudez, Stream 3BB. I am going to discuss some parts of police planning. So, without further ado, let's begin. Set goals. What are the objectives? Number 1. To provide the invention with making flexibility. Number 2. To consistently establish a framework for decision making with the goal of the organization. Then third, increase the employee and personal involvement as well as the improved communication skills. And the last, to orient people into action, not to reaction. And the next, identify alternative courses of actions. What are the possible police policies, possible strategies, or possible specific actions are aimed at elimination the problem? A. Fairness and effectiveness, increase personnel involvement. Police expected to undertake systematic problems of the community. Then next, what are the different possible procedures to be followed? Field procedure, headquarters procedure, special operating procedure. Next, what are the selected policies, strategies, and specific action be followed and undertaken? A. Figuring out the problems the most need to solve. Next, figuring out appropriate strategies to solve those problems. 3. Implementing those strategies successfully. Okay, then next, number 9. How about the policies, strategies, and specific courses of actions going to implemented or executed? By simple promoting the different said strategy specific actions as well the policies in order to be executed. B. Who are the persons responsible for implementation? Police agencies and employees of the organizations. The next, number 10, implement plans, actual execution of the plans that fulfill the objectives or goals. to strengthen institutional mechanism for the recruitment, training, and maintenance of a corps of complement well compensated and motivated professional police force imbued with integrity, industry, and a high sense of duty and honor, and to clarify and instill a culture of public accountability in the PNP and among its personnel. And the last were the objectives. The objectives and goals achieved in the part of implementing activities, strategies, and policies were the problem resolved. The problem resolved at the later part of in the goals, in which generalize the main mission of these plans, what his strength and weaknesses of the plans. The strength of the plans are actually at the objectives and goals. Otherwise, the weaknesses of the plans is identifying and analyzing the problem.